was, when I initially wrote this book, I did not want to write about Hillel's death. I mean, maybe part of me did, and I don't even want to admit it to myself, but I just intended to write about my childhood and not jump forward into the future at all. But Hillel passed away in 1988, just before my first daughter was born, and he's been gone for so long now that for me, even though I treasure every moment of our friendship, his life and death have become kind of inseparable to me. They're kind of wrapped up and intertwined with one another, and I couldn't help but write about it. And I wrote about it a couple of times, but in this case I wrote about the day that he died, and that was the best way I could describe it. June 27th, 1988 was a nice hot summer day in Hollywood. We'd been home from a grueling European tour for a week or so. I was relaxed, unwound, and this is also honestly, one of the happiest times ever of my life. This particular time until this thing happened. Anyway, sorry, I'll stop. I was relaxed, unwound, and hanging with my awesomely pregnant wife, Alicia. I felt whole. Those were beautiful days when I slept 9 hours a night, and in the lazy mornings she giggled while I sang rhythms to her swollen tummy. I don't know if I can fucking do it, you guys. I'll try. But I sang rhythms to her swollen tummy, my face pressed against the limitless potential inside. I only wanted to work for my family. I felt happy and healthy, full of love, strong as an artist, riding a river of creativity, sharing my days with good friends, and was basking in the glory of a Lakers repeat championship. All was navigable and felt simple, deep, and open. The recently completed tour had begun with Hillel in a state of weakness. He was pale, depleted, and ghostly, his spirit diminished. During the first show, he left the stage after one song, unable to keep it together because of dope sickness. He gathered his strength as the tour progressed, though, and as he kicked the habit, his soul, humor, and flowing funk grew back into its naturally evolved state. It had become clearer than ever that this drug thing was no game. I saw it rob Hillel of his natural truth for a time. This was no experimental romance of youth anymore. It was fucking terrible. Louisa and I woke in our sunlit apartment, banging a new Public Enemy and dancing around the room. I worked for a little while, putting the baby's crib together. Then we went out to meet friends for breakfast on Fountain. In the afternoon, we picked up Perry Farrell and Casey Nicoli to go watch the Tyson fight at the house of our friend Rick Van Santen, the visionary who invented the Coachella Festival. Perry had just finished making the Nothing Shocking album, and we sat and we rocked out to it in the car. When the lushness of summertime rolls washed over me for the first time, I was blown away, realizing the expansive and powerful vision of Jane's Addiction. The shit was heavy. It was an awesome, fun day at Rick's with lots of great friends, eating ribs, smoking weed. None of that for Prager's Louisa, though. My God, she was funny, smart, insanely gorgeous. I was so lucky. And laughing at the jokes of Dirty Walt, Dog King of the Freaks. I loved Mike Tyson so much. He embodied our time. Ali will always be the greatest. He floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee, but Tyson was our champ. Cosmic zeitgeist overflowing with the pathos of the USA in 1988 and hammering all the punk rock hip hop feelings we shared into his opponent's skulls. The edgy, vibrating feeling I got when he marched in the ring to Ice Cube's The N-Word You Love to Hate. Wow. Full of love for him, yet quaking with terror at the violence he would unleash. My mom was a huge Tyson fan and always said she wanted to give him chamomile tea with honey in it, put him to bed on time, and keep him away from all the evil sharks surrounding him. He demolished Spinks in a few seconds, and our odd silence erupted into a cacophony of jokes and speculation. We partied the day away. We drove home satisfied and happy. As we walked into our apartment, I noticed a huge quantity of messages on the answering machine. The first one was from RHCP manager Lindy, who said tersely, "Call me as soon as you get this," and hung up. The phone was ringing off the hook. Louisa answered, didn't say anything, just looked confused and passed me the phone. The sky fell in. Hillel was dead. I crumpled to the floor. No more nothing. No more dancing. No more arguments or petty bullshit. No more supportive discussions. No more yearning. No more discovering ourselves together in the funky grooves. No more of the easy laughter at the unsaid jokes. No more chance to fix it. No more riding the ships in our fleet gone straight out to sea. No more outdoing each other with the absurd. No more of his soulful guidance that had helped me profoundly time and time again. No more nothing. His inspiration lives in me. I would never be the Flea y'all know without him. Left with love and admiration for him, left with the confusing pain of all that was unresolved, and the absolute knowledge that love is the only thing that counts in the end. It was devastatingly final. I lay with my bride, Luisha, my unborn Clara, and we all wept. Just kidding. Hillel, I love you. In my dreams, I love you. In my soberest assessment, I love you. In my thoughtless silence, the sun rises and sets for you. For a while, I was obsessed with questions. I wondered what it was like for Hillel on that hot, smoggy day. In the apartment he was so happy about, where he partied, made love, danced to Prince, and created his funky strat rhythms. Did he feel death coming when he shot that last dose of smack? An enveloping darkness? Did he drift away painlessly into a pleasant ether? Did he panic as life drained away? Or was it just a numb cessation of the conscious mortal world? Did he feel his body and soul separate? And if so, did they rip apart wildly or part in a dignified and orderly manner? I imagined that the profundity of death would rise above the pettiness of drugs and allow for a conscious departure. I know nothing. My gorgeous, sweet, brilliant, funny friend, the layers of grief, the shock, the numbing heaviness, the regret, the gratitude, eventually the clarity. Love. Love above the disappointment, judgment, fear, and hurt. Love to clear the fog that binds us and unlock the love to clear the fog that blinds us and unlock the shackles that bind us. Life is not but a journey to achieve love. Beyond thought, where greatness resides, anything is possible there.